At this full bore.
When stars collide.
The latest on the legal bombshell.
Shocking behind-the-scenes drama.
Some people are in for the kill.
So we just wanted to let the justice system run its course.
His career collapsed. He left Hollywood. For 2 years, he said nothing. Then, Justin Baldoni finally broke his silence. 5 minutes, his wife beside him, calling it all an injustice, but he never once said Blake Lively's name. So, why not? To answer that, we have to rewind. But stay with me, because this story has leaked texts, a $400 million lawsuit, and one courtroom twist nobody saw coming. It all started with a movie that looked like a guaranteed hit. In 2024, Justin Baldoni directed and starred in It Ends With Us It. It was based on Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel.
Reality is that there's been a lot of trauma for us to move through as a family.
Over 10 million copies sold. The story followed a woman escaping an abusive relationship, which made everything that came next even more loaded. Sony released the film in August 2024. It premiered in New York to a packed house, and audiences showed up in force. It made $351 million on a $25 million budget. Critics were mixed, but fans adored it. One tracker later put its profit above $200 million. One of the year's most valuable films. Baldoni, best known for Jane the Virgin, was suddenly a director to watch. Blake Lively played the lead. And that summer, she was everywhere. Here's a detail most people forgot. That August, Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds pulled off something rare. Their 2 movies held the top 2 spots at the box office at the same time. No married couple had done that in over 30 years. On the surface, everything looked golden, but behind the scenes,
after Blake accused Justin of on-set sexual harassment,
something had already gone very wrong. It started during the movie's press tour. Fans noticed Blake and Justin never appeared together. People whispered about a feud. Then, that December, the whispering stopped, and the lawsuits began. It was 4 months after the movie hit theaters. Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Agency. She accused Baldoni of sexual harassment on the set. She said the set had turned hostile, that she and others felt unsafe. But she didn't stop there. She also claimed his team ran a secret campaign to wreck her reputation. She named his studio, its CEO, and 2 crisis publicists. Her complaint said they built a plan to turn the public against her. The next day, the New York Times published the whole thing. They printed private messages from his team. Readers could scroll the court documents themselves. The messages seemed to show how his publicists talked about shaping the story. The fallout was instant. Within 24 hours, Baldoni's own talent agency dropped him. The head of that agency confirmed it himself. And here's the twist. That same agency also represented Blake and Ryan. Baldoni later claimed Reynolds pressured them to cut him loose. The agency flatly denied it. One accusation. And a career started collapsing overnight. But here's where the story flips. Baldoni wasn't going quietly. He denied every accusation. Then he hit back, harder than anyone expected. First, he sued the New York Times. Then, in January 2025, he filed a lawsuit of his own. The number? 4.
After Blake accused Justin of on-set sexual harassment,
$100 million. He sued Blake, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and her publicist too. And his accusation flipped the whole story on its head. He claimed she invented the harassment to seize control of the film, that a group of powerful people set out to destroy him. So now there were 2 opposite stories. And only one could be true. This wasn't just 2 actors.
So we just wanted to let the justice system run its course.
At this full bore.
When stars collide.
The latest on the legal bombshell.
Shocking behind-the-scenes drama.
some people are in for the kill.
Anymore. It pulled in publicists, executives, and a billionaire backer. Private emails and Hollywood power games spilled into public view. Then, both lawsuits were combined into one giant case. It was messy. It was expensive. And it was far from over, because a judge was about to make a call that flipped everything again. So which side did the judge believe? Neither walked away clean. First came the blow to Baldoni. In June 2025, the judge threw out his entire lawsuit. Why? In plain English, you can't be sued for claims you make inside a legal case. It's a rule that lets people speak freely when they take something to court. His suit against the New York Times? Thrown out too. Just like that, his $400 million counterattack was dead, so Blake had won. Right? Not so fast. Months later, that same judge turned on her case in a single ruling, 152 pages long. He threw out 13 of her 16 claims, including the sexual harassment one. So how does the biggest accusation just vanish? Part of the reason was technical. The law she used only protected employees. And on that film, she counted as a contractor. What survived were claims about damage to her reputation, aimed mostly at his PR team. The judge let her keep fighting on those. But the biggest accusation was gone. Think about how far this had come. It started with one complaint. Now it was 16 claims and a small army of lawyers. And the strangest twist was still ahead. Here's where it gets wild. In May 2026, just weeks before trial, both sides suddenly settled. By then, the fight had dragged on for a year and a half. A trial was set. Testimony, depositions, everything about to spill out. Then, at the last minute, it vanished. No money changed hands. No public winner. Just a shared statement. In it, both sides called the movie a source of pride and said they wanted closure. They even admitted the process had challenges and that her concerns deserved to be heard, but the judge still had one final ruling to make, and it landed like a bomb. He ordered Baldoni's studio to pay Blake's legal bills, but he denied her the extra damages she was chasing. So both sides did something strange. They both declared victory. Blake's lawyers called it a landmark win. They said it protects people who speak up from being buried under lawsuits. And the law they used was brand new, barely tested. This case put it on the map. Baldoni's lawyer said the opposite, that most of her case collapsed, and she got nothing for the rest. His exact words, there was no sexual harassment. There was no retaliation. There was no smear campaign. His lawyer even released the full settlement in public to give everyone finality. Same ruling. Two completely different stories. Then, days later, Blake's team sent the bill. More than $8 million, $7.5 million in fees, plus costs on top. And that, finally, is when Justin Baldoni broke his silence. He posted a video, his wife beside him, almost 5 minutes long. He called the last 2 years an injustice. He said, "We are healing." His wife asked how this could even happen. Disguised, she said, as a fight for women. And through all 5 minutes, he never said Blake's name. Not once. Not the lawsuit, not the movie. Just the pain it left behind. Think about that. A man who lost his career, who left Hollywood, who stayed silent for 2 years. And when he finally speaks, he won't say the name at the center of it all. So where does that leave everyone today? The courtroom war is basically over. The money fight isn't. Baldoni's side has to decide. Pay the $8 million or fight it one more time. And this story has never once taken the easy road. Not everyone was moved by the video, though. Some noticed the timing. It dropped right after that $8 million bill. Others saw a man finally telling his side. After years of staying quiet, the internet split clean down the middle. Like it always has. It became one of the most talked about legal fights Hollywood had ever seen. And it forced an uncomfortable question. When someone speaks up, who do we believe? And what does it cost them? And the whole thing pulled back a curtain on Hollywood itself. Private texts between stars. Deals that usually stay hidden. All dragged into the daylight. As for Justin himself, he's a different man now. He hasn't announced a single new project since the lawsuit hit. He reportedly left Los Angeles and moved to Nashville. For a man once on top of Hollywood, it was a stunning fall. His whole world now, he says, is his kids, his faith and healing. And Blake, she kept working. New films, public events, life moving forward. But on the video itself, complete silence. Her team didn't respond. No post, no statement. Which, after 2 years this loud, is its own kind of answer. One of them disappeared. The other didn't. Remember how he never said her name? Maybe that was the point. Some fights don't end with a winner. Sometimes both people just walk away, still carrying it, but one line should stick with you, because his wife said, there is so much more to say. Here's the truth about this whole saga. 2 people. 1 movie. And 2 stories that may never line up. You just watch Justin break his silence. Now the only question left is what Blake does next. So tell me below. After everything, who do you actually believe? If you want the full breakdown of how this exploded, the leaked texts, the timeline, all of it, that video's right here. Subscribe if you want the real story behind Hollywood's biggest moments, before everyone's talking about them. See you in the next one.